Hey guys and welcome! As you've seen by the title of today's video, I'd like to talk about the Battlefield community itself negatively affecting Battlefield 5. And before we go further into the topic, I just want to clarify. We are not gonna talk about social justice warriors, we're not gonna talk about political correctness today, none of that is included in the video. So there is no rant about women in Battlefield 5, there is no rant about customization, none of that is here. So if that's out of the picture, what exactly do I want to talk about? What does the community do wrong that's hurting the game? To be fair, I'm not talking about the whole Battlefield community here. I'm talking about the certain group of players who think that they know how the game is supposed to be designed and they are trying to push their idea out on socials and force DICE/EA to implement their ideas of how the game should be designed. And you can see examples of it pretty much everywhere. Reddit, Twitter, even my own Discord, which is linked in the description by the way in case you want to join it, it's practically everywhere. And the biggest problem about those people is that they clearly have no idea, that they have no clue of what they are talking about. I'm not suggesting I myself know everything about Battlefield series, so don't get the wrong impression here, but I'm not talking about stuff I have no idea about, or if I do, I openly admit I got no idea of how certain stuff works and I'm just giving my impression of how it might be working. Let me give you a very drastic example here. If you guys are watching Battlefield YouTubers, you might have heard, or actually you probably seen some videos from a YouTuber called MarbleDuck. Now, this guy is super smart, he's got tons of knowledge about the Battlefield series and games in general, and has a very good high quality videos. The problem with his audience is that the audience thinks that after they watch one video from MarbleDuck and they hear him talking smart things for 15 minutes, they are automatically MarbleDuck after they watch one video. They have all of his knowledge, they have all of his experience, and now they can teach others how certain things work, how the game should be designed, what's the proper approach to certain things, etc, etc. Let me tell you this, guys. If you watch one video from MarbleDuck, you're not MarbleDuck. You don't have his knowledge. If you watch all of his videos, you're still not MarbleDuck. You still don't have the knowledge he has, so that he can give you part of his knowledge in the video. That's the drastic difference. And I'm not using MarbleDuck here as a, well, some sort of a bad example. It's just that the guy has actually a very informative videos and the audience often doesn't even understand what he's saying and they think that they already mastered everything and they are gods of the universe. The same way you might study what Einstein did for 20 years straight, every single day, from morning to evening, and at the end of the day, even if you go through all of the stuff that Einstein wrote, that others wrote about Einstein's work, analyze all of the things he's done, at the end of the day, you're still not Einstein. Of course, we are not talking about every single person who watches MarbleDuck here, or any other creator, but Marble is a great example because he's actually got a very informative videos with tons of information that other YouTubers don't even talk about. Not every single person that watches a video like this is totally clueless after watching it. Certain people do understand it, but it's a minority. Now, take a couple of steps back and get the wider perspective. I'm giving an example based on MarbleDuck's videos here. Videos which are probably the most informative videos in Battlefield community. What happens if someone watches other YouTubers who are not even giving 10% of the information that Marble gives in his videos and they don't even understand this 10%? What happens then? Well, you guys can see what happens then. Then we've got Reddit, Twitter, YouTube comments, even official DICE's surveys, flooded by opinions from people who clearly have no idea how certain things work. I'm not saying people should not be allowed to post their own opinions. Of course, they should be. Which brings us to the second conclusion. EA is also partially at fault here. Let me give you an example here. Let's say EA and DICE are both great architects, and they want to build a house. They know they want to build a house, but they don't exactly know what house they want to build. Now, at the beginning, before they reach the final stage where they ask customers how they want the house decorated, they probably have to figure out where they should put walls so that the house doesn't collapse after they finish building it. That's what happened with Battlefield 1, pretty much. Now let's imagine those walls are a core gameplay of Battlefield. What do you think is better? Asking someone who graduated architecture and has plenty of knowledge on the subject, plus understands the whole thing and can give a clear feedback, or ask someone who's an average Joe, take some random person from the street and ask them how it should be designed. Meanwhile, they don't even understand 90% of the terms that you are asking them about. And you want them to specifically tell you how to design this house. Obviously they got no idea. That's one of the reasons why EA isn't really receiving that many answers in the surveys they are doing for CT or even Battlefield 5 Alpha. Because the majority of players don't feel comfortable when they are asked questions they don't even understand. How can they? It's not their job to understand it. They are just here to enjoy their time while playing the game. That's it. And that's how it should be. Now let's take it a step further and think about what we talked about at the beginning of the video. We talked about players who don't fully understand the subject and are trying to give a feedback which is supposed to be a solution to a problem. Think about those players giving EA/DICE feedback on how they should design the game. Those players are not fully aware of what they are even talking about in the first place. Do you guys remember Battlefield 3? Community was crying, snipers are overpowered, please nerf them. DICE nerfed them in Battlefield 4. What happened in Battlefield 4? Community started crying, DICE, snipers are underpowered, please buff them. What happened in Battlefield 1? DICE buffed the snipers to the point where they were clearly overpowered, and people started crying, DICE, please nerf snipers. So here we are with Battlefield 5 with finally somewhat balanced sniper rifles. Another example, Battlefield 3. People were complaining that you could panic knife someone by just spamming the knife button. What did DICE do? They implemented counter knife mechanic in Battlefield 4, where the players who was knifed from the front was being able to counter the attack. Community were crying because, again, they didn't enjoy the mechanic, which was supposed to counter the panic knife in the first place. So what did DICE do with Battlefield 1? They added panic knife with auto-aim on it, so that you could practically knife everyone around you, you didn't even have to aim for them. So what's the conclusion here? Should EA just ignore the whole community and their feedback? Well, they're already doing it pretty much, but let's say they would ignore it even more and not allow us to have some input into designing the game? Well, not necessarily, but there should be a difference in how they are gathering feedback, and there should be a group of people who actually know how certain aspects of the game should be designed, how they should properly work, etc, etc. And it's not like it's some big of a stretch for EA to hire extra 5 or 10 people who will give you a proper feedback and actually help you design the product that will make you even more millions of dollars. Like, it's crazy numbers we are talking about here. Hiring 5 to 10 people for them is like nothing. So to end the video here, I just want to say this. Everyone should be allowed to post their opinion publicly. There is no doubts about it. Everyone should be allowed to do so, and I'm not against it. The only thing I'm against here in this scenario is spreading misinformation, and at the end of the day, EA actually treating those misinformated posts, surveys or tweets, whatever form we are talking about here, as a feedback they should consider while designing their game. Of course, there might be one golden nugget in 100 of posts which are completely wrong, but that's the one nugget EA should pick and implement to their game. Not take all of the feedback and try to appeal to everyone, because at the end of the day, the game doesn't really have a soul if they want to appeal to every single person. Battlefield 1 is a perfect example of this. EA wanted to appeal to everyone, and they did. They implement everything that players asked about, but the problem is, at the end of the day, players themselves didn't really want to play the game they pretty much designed on their own by giving the feedback, because it wasn't fun. Cause, as I've said, they have no idea how the fun game should be designed in the first place. It's not their area of expertise. It's really that simple. Anyway guys, that would be it for this video. I'm really glad you stayed with me here till the end, especially considering that it's another long video like this second day in a row. So yeah, thank you for that, and as always, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I see you on the battlefield.